Okay, so you just asked the tarot if you're going to be offered your dream job an hour after you had a great interview and the cards say no. It's pretty disappointing, but you've got choices. You've got options. You can feel despondent for a week or two and then get on your feet and try and apply again. You can ignore the cards and you can tell all your friends, I got this job. You can spend all afternoon cutting the cards over and over again until you get exactly the cards you want. It's not helpful, it's probably not accurate, but it's a method. Or the extreme version would be that you fire up the barbecue, you torch your tarot deck for not giving you a yes answer and buy another deck. That could get expensive over time and it's still not necessarily accurate. Or you can move in a completely different direction by asking more positive and constructive questions of the tarot. These include, will I be offered a position with that company in the next 2 years? Because the person they hire might not work out for them. Or they might be expanding and they'll need someone else with your skills. Another question might be, will I find a more suitable position going forward? This might not have suited you. You could have a really bad dynamic with the boss when you land the job, or the company could be in liquidation in 18 months. Another question you can ask is, what can I do to become more appealing to employers? The next obvious question might be, do I need to up my skills in any way to become more appealing for the jobs I'm applying for? Is there a piece of software you're not familiar with and you need to become familiar with? Is there a certificate you need to get? Are there some new skills you need for specific targets, for specific jobs? Final and vital question is, what do I most need to know right now? When Ellie asked about starting her own business, the cards clearly said no, the timing wasn't right. She was puzzled and explained to me that she'd spent 3 years researching the business, getting her skills up, and she did 2 business courses in that time. So she was ready. She'd saved up the money, she was ready to go. When she asked, what do I most need to know right now? The cards indicated that she might be looking after her mother, supporting her mum in the next 2 years. She assured me her mum was in perfect health, everything was fine, she had no other responsibilities, she could just get on with starting this business. It was apparent to me that if she started the business now, it was likely that within a few months, 6, 12 months, she'd close it down, had need to pause, to regroup, and then start the business again. There's no point starting a business for a year and then starting it again. All your savings will be eroded in that first year. It was a bit of a stalemate, so I thought, what I'll do is I'll tune in clairvoyantly and have a look ahead. I saw her mum sitting up in bed in the late afternoon, looking pretty tired, quite weary. This is a woman who wasn't well. Now her hair was thinning, and I wasn't sure, is that her normal hair, or is this a result of some medications or something else going on? And I explained this to her and she said, no, I can't see any of that. 3 years later, Ellie returned for another reading and explained to me that soon after, a month, 2 months after our reading, that her mum had been diagnosed with cancer. So she went through some treatments. So she was sitting up in bed, her hair was thinning, she was feeling very, very weary. Ellie was torn between the business she'd started and supporting her mum. It's a hard thing because you've got one mum and this is only one chance to support her in this situation. It's a difficult burden, splitting your time between running a business and supporting someone who really needs food, cleaning, trips to hospital, that sort of thing. It can be time consuming and can be emotionally very draining too. Her mother died 18 months after that first reading, and Ellie struggled with the business, eventually closing it down so she could get her energy back. In her second reading, the cards were much more positive. The timing was much better. It looked like things were going to move forward for her. It occurred to me after the reading that her savings would be absolutely perfect to get her through that period if she wasn't working, as she was looking after her mother. Instead, she felt burned out and unable to face the business after her loss. So sometimes a no answer is actually a very positive thing. Sometimes we get so focused on a goal, we're not seeing the outside interference or the outside activity or the wider picture. Sometimes a no answer means you're asking the wrong question. If, for instance, you're struggling to make a difficult relationship work and the cards indicate that your efforts won't be rewarded, it might be time to explore other options. It might be time to ask how the future looks without that relationship. So, you've got a range of questions you might be able to ask in that sort of situation. The first is, what does the future hold for me in love relationships generally? Broaden it. There might be somebody else out there for you. Is it wise for me to be single for a while? This allows for a period of self-reflection so that you can perhaps choose differently in your next relationship. You can see the patterns of your previous relationships. You can see what you might be doing to contribute to that. Being single might be necessary for you to be available when a new potential partner has resolved his or her past issues and is finally ready for a relationship. A really powerful question is, what can I do to prepare for my next love relationship? Wanting is not enough. Sometimes you've got to do things differently. Sometimes, like for instance with a job, if you're going to apply for a new position, you'll get your resume ready. You'll make sure your outfit is good. You might get a haircut. There are a range of things you might do so that you're showing at your best. Same thing for a relationship. A final question: what is the underlying spiritual lesson in my current situation, in my current relationship? Sometimes that can illuminate a theme in your life, or maybe it's just one short lesson. Either way, if you can understand that and learn it, you're free to move forward.